Hello, my name is Jenan Kanono. I'm the team leader at Jonaki Holdings Limited, where we get to serve you. So if you have a financial challenge, if you have a money problem, if you want to scale up your business, we have you sorted. And you can always check us out at www.thejonakiholdings.com for money solutions. We are located in Tinda as our headquarters and at Mulago Business Center as our branch. Enjoy this video. There have been conversations concerning, capping of interest rates for money lenders and tier 4 microfinance institutions. And it's quite interesting that a number of countries that I can actually highlight that have tried to cap interest rates have gone back to reconsider. Why? Because capping the interest rate does more harm than good. And it's like, it's like I'm suffering from fever and you treat I'm suffering from malaria and you treat the fever, the temperatures. You're trying to regulate the temperatures. If you're regulating the temperatures, you've not treated the actual cause of the temperatures. There's an underlying cause that is beyond the capping of interest rates. And that should be the one that should be addressed. Why? Because even if you treat the temperatures, you can only treat them for a given period of time. But you've not done the actual treatment for the bacteria or for the actual problem that is causing the temperature, the malaria. So that means I meant to swallow the tabs that address, or an injection that addresses the actual malaria, rather than regulating the temperature with a cloth or Panadol. And that's what exactly is happening. Because capping the rates does not mean that lenders are going to be wiped out of the industry. It doesn't mean that. And you see, it poses more challenge because I already gave the numbers in the previous video. I gave the numbers of how many people are trading in the lending industry and what bracket of the lenders are doing that informally. These guys are not registered. These guys are doing it their own way. And most of them who are not even registered are doing it in villages. One of the things that I've come to learn about, and it's privy information that I'm privileged to have because I interact with most of the lenders, is that they know that in towns, they can actually be nabbed by the police, they can be nabbed by the regulators, so they are concentrated in villages. And you see, the issue is not to fight them, but the issue is how can we support them so that they can actually do the lending the right way. Because for as long as there's a problem, then it needs a solution. If I am lending money, that means there is a demand for money. Even in the villages, what alternative can we provide for that? So capping the rates is not it, because it's going to cause black market, it's going to cause a lot of informality, and if someone needs money, he needs money. He needs it like yesterday. He doesn't want to entertain stories of, come tomorrow, come the other day, which is the gap that the lenders are doing. Why the banks are not standing the gap is that the banks have the audacity. First of all, they get free money from the people who deposit the money. Because if I deposit my money, the bank has the audacity to actually lend 10 times that money to anyone else. But also they have access to money from the Bank of Uganda, from the central bank, which the non-deposit taking institutions, the microfinances, the money lenders do not have access to. That even when we're accessing the capital, it is expensive. Whoever wants to lend to you because of the risk that you posed to, they lend you highly. Why? Because you pose more risk. That whereas the bank would get at 1% or even almost 0.something% per month, as the cheapest money you can get is at probably 3 or 4% or even 5%. Because the lender knows the risk that you actually pose to him. They know the industry that you play in. They know the kind of transactions that you actually do. So it poses more risk. So capping the rates is not the solution because it's going to cause more problems. It is not the solution. What is then the solution? The solution is, if I go to buy from the shop and one of the hardware shops is expensive, what happens? I move to another shop. Actually, research shows that a person, when they go to buy something, they don't buy from the first spot where they arrive at. That's why, do you ever ask yourself why drug shops are concentrated in one area? Do you ask yourself why shops or companies that sell similar products are usually concentrated in a similar area? Do you ask yourself why boutiques that sell clothes are concentrated in one area, or even pharmacies? And then you ask yourself, forex bureaus, why are they concentrated in one area? Because you'd think that they're going to compete, you'd think that they're going to run short of business because they're concentrated in one area. That's what you think. But the thing is, someone will come first on the other person's shop and end up in their shop. And the next person might start from this other shop and end up theirs because they are comparing the prices. So they end up getting buyers equally. And that should actually happen in the same industry. in this money lending industry. There should be a catalog of sorts. The regulator can actually choose to put a catalog and say, look, if I don't want to go to Jonaki because it has probably higher rate or probably it's a little more strict here, I can go to another company that can actually be more flexible. So the client should be able to check out. Could be a website of the regulator, it could be an announcement, it could be an avenue that they can use, it could be a notes board of sorts where all registered lenders can actually be catalogued, can be put on the notes board or in the website, so that if a borrower comes, I can punch in who is lending below 5%, who is lending below 10%, who is lending at 8%, who is lending below 3%. Because then we shall be regulated by the competition. Because if I realize that most of the people are going to the one who is lending at 4%, then it comes easy for me not to go to the one who is lending at 8%. Then it will be automatic for the one who is lending at 8% to get out of business and close shop. Why? Because there is no client that is coming to them. So that is self-regulation. We should push for that. We should push for that. The other thing is that we need to, talk to the regulator and see how we can persuade the informal lenders. Because it's the informal lenders that are causing some of the problems. But also some of them are online lenders. Some of the telecom companies lend as high as 9 or 10% per month. However small money it is, no money is small, because if I'm borrowing 40,000 and the other person is borrowing 10,000, additionally, if we are 10 million people, it can add to 1 trillion. So it becomes cumulative, it becomes a lot of money. So some of the telecom companies lend to as high as 9 or 10%. Most of the online lenders lend to as high as 15%. Now, the online lenders are different from the actual money lenders. They are different. Now, we cannot conglomerate that whole bracket of the different categories of lenders and say we're going to cap the interest rate. The diagnosis will be wrong. And if the diagnosis is wrong, that means you cannot confirm the treatment. And if you cannot confirm the treatment, the likelihood is death. Because the person is not diagnosed well and is not treated well, the person will die. And so the industry is going to die. Because we had moved certain steps. One, we are proud that we have the regulator. Secondly, we are proud that people are now transitioning from informality to formality. Because we have tried to publicize, we have tried to do social media, we have tried to educate where we get the opportunity. But now all this has been watered down by the policies that are being pushed for approval, by the bills that are being pushed for approval. Because ultimately, it's going to affect the industry. It's going to take us a few strides back, 4 or 5 strides back. The efforts that had been done by UMRA are now going to be watered down. So what is my actual point on the side of capping? Is there are several alternatives that we can actually ensure rather than capping the interest rate. It would have been the ideal to cap the interest rates if we had particular source of capital. If you're giving me the capital to say, I'm lending you at 1%, I'm lending you at 2%, why then are you lending at 10%? That would have been better. But again, there is no fund that the lenders can pick from so that they can actually lend at a lower rate. There's no fund, because the people we borrow from lend to us highly. Why? Because it is a huge risk. We lend to risky clients. Turnaround time is very important. So you cannot afford to dilly-dally and over-scrutinize and ask for all those details. And that's why even research shows that because of how unstable and tight the industry is that almost 70% of the online lenders lose their money. That's why even some of them are using dubious methods, dubious ways to collect the money. They are calling whoever, relative, friend, whoever, great in-laws, which is a wrong approach, because that's not how the money is meant to be collected. It's not the way. But now they are stuck because, first of all, probably they were not educated, but also two, they do not know where to go. What do they do? Because if the clients are volatile, then they have to employ all the methods to recover the money. I'm not voting for them to use the methods because the methods are wrong, but the thing is, how do we make good? Because 2 birds cannot make 1 good. But if there's a bad and we approach it with a good, then we shall make a better good. So my argument is to whoever is concerned, to the regulators, to the government, is that could we work together with the Lenders Association, with the actual registered lenders, and see how to persuade, because we have all these proposals written down. We have all these good recommendations written down. Can we compare notes? and see how you can transition the informal lenders to formal lenders so that we can clean up the industry. Rather than capping the rates and then you're creating black market, and before you know it, people are losing their property. Because then people will be lending through sales agreement. Someone says, you know what, you just write to me and say you are selling, which will be very, very bad. So with that, I thank you for watching. Comment, propose your ideas. Let's brainstorm, like, share, and let's make sure that this industry is clean, because the beneficiaries are there, but also the benefactors are here. So we need to work together so that we can actually get to clean and step up this industry. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.